Hey guys, hope you're all doing well and welcome to the second episode of Building Accurate Habitats in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Here we will learn about the predator of the Jurassic period, the Allosaurus, and attempt to recreate its environment in an enclosure. Let's jump right in and start learning a little bit about the paleocology of the top predator of Jurassic era. For those who would like to skip ahead to the habitat recreation attempt, I provided a time set for you to click. For everyone else, let's begin. Allosaurus was about 20 to 32 feet long, weighed up to 2 to 3 tons, and lived in the Jurassic era about 155 million years ago. In the Jurassic World universe, due to their genetic makeup, these dinosaurs managed to grow up to 39 feet long, and their size was comparable to that of a Suchomimus, Ceratosaurus, or Carnotaur. The Allosaurus is best known for its horn-like protrusions that rest above their eyes. The functions of these horns are unknown, but paleontologists theorize that they may have been used as colorful acts of display to win over a mate, or as a means to block the sun, using their horns as sunshades for their eyes. They are also known for having rows of fully serrated teeth, which were perfect for tearing through flesh. Unlike other theropods, studies have shown that Allosaurus' skull had a rather weak bite. Its bite force compared to that of an adult African lion, but it made up for it by having a skull that was able to withstand a force 15 times as great as its bite. It used its bite as an axe, using its strong neck muscles to drive its top jaw into its prey, had a wide mouth opening, and used its bite in a slash and tear motion. Ultimately, the prey would end up succumbing to blood loss and shock. It had short legs for a theropod, so paleontologists were able to decipher that it had to be an ambush predator, as its short legs indicated that it had trouble maintaining its top speed of 30 miles per hour during a hunt. Based on numerous fossil evidence, paleontologists were able to conclude that Allosaurus lived around 25 years, and they reached a full length at about 15 years old. Allosaurus was discovered by the famous paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh in the North American Morrison Foundation during the time of the Bone Wars in 1877. It was given the name Allosaurus, meaning different lizard, at the time of its discovery because its vertebrae looked vastly different from other dinosaurs. Today, paleontologists know so much about Allosaurus due to the vast amount of fossils that have been found, particularly in the Morrison Foundation of North America, but also in places like Portugal and Tanzania. Fossils have shown paleontologists plenty of evidence that the life of an Allosaurus was violent and dangerous. In 1991, a 95% complete skeleton of an Allosaurus named Big Al was shown to have evidence of bone fractures, broken teeth, and bacterial infections, most likely sustained during hunting prey or fighting with other Allosaurus. This was not a rare occurrence, as fossils belonging to Allosaurus have also shown evidence of fractures and healed wounds. Recently, an Allosaurus fossil was also found with a wound in its tail, most likely originating from a Stegosaurus tailpike. This was further supported by a detailed biochemical analysis performed by the University of Manchester that found Allosaurus bones to be extremely resilient, and they had a hidden immune defense system that allowed it to repair and heal itself more effectively. Similar immune systems exist in crocodiles and alligators today. In fact, it shares many characteristics with modern-day crocodiles and alligators. Its inner ear was shaped like that of a crocodile, meaning that its hearing wasn't very good, and it also had a keen sense of smell, but it had hard times processing what it smelled, just like a crocodile. You can see this today when zookeepers sometimes throw rags soaked in blood in a crocodile enclosure. The crocodile attacks and starts eating the rags because they smell the blood, all while not processing that what they're eating is not food. Fossil evidence also shows that Allosaurus raised their young just like crocodiles, raising them until they were a young age when they can fend for themselves. Paleontologists are also convinced that this species of dinosaurs did not possess any feathers or fluff in large quantities. They were scaly, just like crocodilians. Now that we have a bit of background on Allosaurus, let's talk about the paleoecology in which it lived in, to give us a better idea of what its enclosure will look like. The majority of Allosaurus fossils have been found in the North American Morrison Foundation in the Lorraine Formation in present-day Portugal. During the time of Allosaurus, the area encompassing the Morrison Foundation consisted of a semi-arid environment, with distinct wet and dry seasons. It included flat floodplains, fern savannas, and river-lining forests of conifers and ferns, with occasional trees such as the Araucaria-like conifer Brachyphyllum. The Lorraine Formation was separated by an archipelago between West and East Laurasia as the Atlantic began opening up. The Lorraine Formation was similar to the Morrison Foundation but had more influence from the sea rather than the rivers. The open plains and savannas of the Morrison Foundation were better suited for Allosaurus. Other theropods stuck to large but low and maneuverable forests, as did other smaller theropods. The Lorraine Formation had less floodplains, a much less desirable habitat for Allosaurus, which could explain the low number of remains found there. Alright guys, so let's start building this habitat for Allosaurus. We're gonna, based on the picture that we saw earlier, we're gonna go ahead and start doing a floodplain. So let's start building a bunch of little rivers. And right here, what I'm doing is going right along the route of the monorail. Just cause I like the way that looks. I feel like that might make the habitat blend in more with the monorail. And as you can see, so as not to look too unnatural, I went ahead and added this other little part. But yeah, just go ahead and make little river sections for your floodplains. And as you can see here, I'm just expanding up on it a little bit more. Skipped ahead, just did some more of these lines and spread out the floodplains. I want to leave a little space for the savanna. That's where would Allosaurus be hunting, so we'll be doing that. And then since it's a floodplain, we're gonna add some rock right along the edges to signify that that part was underwater, as you know, the floodplain, so you know it floods, so the water level raises. So here we can pretend, or yeah, we can pretend that a flood just happened through and all the vegetation that was once there died as a result of becoming flooded. So we're gonna leave some rock around the edges to signify that, you know, plant life is dying. But at the same time, since we've got a savanna theme going on, we're gonna go ahead and add some sort of like yellowish, orangish color to signify, you know, the savanna plains. I don't like how the sand here looks. It looks too rocky, but we'll still use some of it to blend in around the edges here and there. But we'll be using sand as well as the other rock. I really liked how the other rock looked. The book looks more like sand than the other one looks. So yeah, I think we're gonna be using both of them, blending in here and now. And like I said, this middle part is gonna be the savanna. We'll be adding it later, but you know, just don't want to make it too natural. So we add some patches here and there. Then we add some rocks. Just add them. You know, making sure that they're throughout the park, but at the same time have some sort of random layout to it. And right here, you know, if you have these two rocks, we'll have a little nice little archway. But aside from that, I just went ahead and used two different types of rocks, kind of blend them in and out. But yeah, I just try to place them. The way I like to do is place them throughout the edges of the water bodies, and concentrating them together. I just think it looks really nice like that. And of course, you can't forget your feeders for your Allosaurus. Just put two. Right here in the middle might seem to go, but let's put one right there because, you know, the people are going to be watching. But since it's scope, doesn't really matter, but we'll just throw them here and there. Now for the plains, or, you know, our forest. We'll go ahead and use some of this, let's see. You know, we got some ferns. We got some river lining forests of conifers and ferns. So we're going to be using, I like this one because it really shows the really tall trees, just how we saw in that other picture. But I really like how this one looks because of all the ferns on the ground. It looks really, you know, it's got that wetland floodplain look that I like. And this one, the calamites, the plants are just too short. So I think we're going to be using this one along with the first one. I don't want to use a very first nature one just because they're more bushy and the pictures showed more conifers. So we're going to be using these types of trees since they look more like conifers. And like I said, lightly wooded here in the middle. Since they were ambush predator, Allosaurus would most likely be hiding behind these trees, behind some of the rocks. But they do like open plains. As I said, they ambush from the trees and go into the plains. So right now I'm going to be taking some of the trees away and leave some space in the middle. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the habitat using the Temskia. I like that fern look to it. You know, a lot of vegetation. We're going to be putting some vegetation in the water's edge as well, but let's use the Kaikai Grove. I like that one. What is it? Psycat Grove? I forgot. Oh, we'll find out later. Someone will comment on it. But yeah, I really like, I don't know why, what's this type of foliage makes me really think of a dinosaur, you know, dinosaur type. That one, the Psycat Grove. And then this one's just going to be the Savannah. Yeah, we'll just slightly spread it around, but it's too greenish actually. I kind of want more Savannah. Let's try that one. Let's see. Yeah, this one looks much better. Yeah, that looks much more like the Savannah. So let's replace it. Then we got that floodplains kind of look, so I kind of don't want to leave it too Savannah-ish. Let's just put here, yeah, I think I like that. Let's use a fibrous ground cover to put it all around the water's edge, you know, where the rock is, just to signify the new plant growth that's growing. But at the same time, not the grass. The grass is what most usually die if it's flooded. Those would probably last a bit longer just because, you know, they're ferns. And then right here, like I mentioned, I'll leave some open space for the Allosaurus. So let's actually put some savanna down first, and then we'll go back to the tall trees. Yep, yeah, I think I like this one a bit more. Gives it that nice plains look. Yeah, we'll use it all here in the middle. And let's put some cover, as I mentioned. Let's just finish off these edges real quick. And I think, well, it all depends on how you want your habitat to look, but on this one I'm leaning towards more foliage than less. But here you go, put in some savanna, some plains. Now it's coming and taking shape. Let's finish off with these tall trees real quick. Some conifer-like trees, river lining the forest. Lining the river, I mean. Same way. And let's just make sure we get some tall trees to pop up. Come on, where you at? There we go. Another one. It's another one. There we go. That's one function I really do miss from the first Jurassic World. I wish they bring it back, is putting down individual trees. That's something I really liked from the first game. So hope they bring it back. And like I mentioned in the other video, is the fallen logs and fallen trees, stuff like that. I think that would look really cool. And let's go ahead and put some of this Temskia. I mean, calamites, sorry. Yeah, I think Temskia was the way to go. So we'll use that just to put some ferns on the ground. Blend in the plains with the rest of the land. And there you go. Look at that. Put a little rock, you know. Like I said, Allosaurus likes to hide behind rocks, or, you know, you use trees and rocks to ambush predators. So we'll add some here. And there you have it. Not too bad, right? It seems like a nice little habitat where an Allosaurus would live. What do you guys think? Is this accurate? Is not? I feel like we really did a good job trying to recreate its habitat, looking like a floodplain, adding some little river lining forests, and just finish it off with some ferns and some occasional conifers, which are these tall trees right here. And there you have it. Does this look like a habitat where Allosaurus would be? I think so. So I'm giving this a good rating. What do you guys think? On the other hand, the rather large amount of fossils found in the Morrison Foundation have led paleontologists to theorize that the site may have once been a predator trap, something akin to a La Brea tar pit, or a deposit site after a large flood. Of all the theropod fossils found in this formation, 70 to 75% belong to Allosaurus, meaning that this dinosaur was also at the top of the food chain. Also, if you want to make Allosaurus feel more at home, you can add some dinosaurs that it lived with during its era. Some just may not last very long, depending on your Allosaurus. Allosaurus lived alongside may have hunted on small theropods like the Ornitholestes, Stuxosaurus, Marshiosaurus, and Lorinosaurus. It also lived alongside Stegosaurid such as the Stegosaurus, Moraga, and the Dacentrurus. As mentioned before, there is even evidence of an Allosaurus fossil shown with damage from a Stegosaurus tail spike or thagomizer. Other dinosaurs that Allosaurus lived with include the Dryosaurus, Camptosaurus, Draconyx, Ankylosaurus, Dracopelta, and smaller theropods like the Camarasaurus. There were of course large sauropods like the Apatosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, and the Supersaurus, but these were simply too large for any lone Allosaurus to take down. One prevalent theory is that Allosaurus was a flesh grazer, meaning that it would take a bite out of a large theropod that would not be life-threatening and allow the theropod to live. The cookie-cutter shark gives a well-known example today. Another theory is that the Allosaurus may have cooperated with each other to take down the large theropods, but no strong evidence has been shown. On the other hand, there are fossils of Allosaurus that show infighting between their own, a sign that might disprove this theory. Signs of fighting between the Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus and Torvosaurus has been documented too. These were two other large theropods that could give Allosaurus a run for their money. Ultimately, it was the Allosaurus that became the top predator of Jurassic, as its numerous remains show us that it was a successful dinosaur of the era. As for the media, its early discovery meant that the Allosaurus and not the T-Rex would star in the very first full-length dinosaur movie, The Lost World in 1925. After the discovery of the T-Rex, the Allosaurus was then replaced when the Jurassic movies came about, but it would make many appearances in numerous Jurassic Park video games. It would finally make a brief appearance in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and in the short film Battle at Big Rock, which if you haven't seen, you should. This short film also hints that Allosaurus might be making an appearance in the new Jurassic World Dominion film coming out on June 10th. All of this makes Allosaurus a beautiful but deadly addition to your Jurassic Park. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.